Welcome to a delayed edition of Midway Minute, everybody. We needed some time to reflect. I am Scott Koral. He is Brendan Sugrue of BearsWire. Brendan, the game itself, we all have known. Bears lose 41-25 at Lambeau Field. Really, I guess the first question would be, where do the Bears go from here?
Well, first, Scott, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be on the program with you, and I've really enjoyed interacting with you and Kevin on the Midway Minute. So it's great to make my debut. I wish it was on a much better day, much better note. As far as where the Bears go from here, it's clear as day to me that it's time to clean house. And I don't say that. I don't like saying that because it's not fun. It's not fair to criticize other people's jobs and call for people to be relieved of their duties. But clearly, after coming off a bye, after losing 4 straight and dropping to 500 following a great, I thought it was great, 5-1 start, this team looked flat on all phases. They got gashed on their first drive, did not respond well on offense. To me, I feel like Matt Nagy has finally lost this team, and Ryan Pace's issues at the GM position are just finally coming to fruition in so many great ways. Unfortunately, at the end of the year, it's probably going to be at the end of the year, it's time for this team to go in a new direction with their GM and their coach.
So some things have happened in the 24 hours after the game. We learned during the game that Tarik Cohen did not watch. Hopefully, he was thinking that that would, superstition might make it better. It did not. And Allen Robinson has liked several tweets this morning that said that he should go elsewhere. So now, with a team that is in complete disarray right now, what do you do? What do you do with a team that's literally frayed at all ends?
That's the big question, because the calling card of a Matt Nagy team over the last 2 years, because we saw some issues last year in 2019 where this team went on a rough streak, Matt Nagy was able to keep this team together. It doesn't seem like that's happening now. You can see Allen Robinson on the field just frustrated after every offensive series. He just looks like he's looking up to the heavens like, what do I have to do to get a good quarterback and get good passes around here? Anthony Miller said something too. He just said this blank is embarrassing, and he's exactly right. This team continues to not perform on the field. You see these subtle jabs, you see these subtle moments from an Allen Robinson. Tarik Cohen definitely wants to be out there to help his team, but if I'm Matt Nagy, I'm doing everything that I can to keep this team from unraveling, although it seems like it's already happened. And he didn't do himself in any favors today in his press conference when he basically threw the defense, the one unit that's really been consistent and kept his backup and kept him as a winning coach with this team, he essentially threw them under the bus after a lackluster performance. And while it was warranted, it just wasn't a good look. And that to me was finally the levee breaking loose and, this team kind of crumbling.
Well, it kind of is reminiscent of Bears teams in the past where the defense went against the offense. And, 1985 was a perfect example, except the defense was that good, and the offense still had a Hall of Famer in Walter Payton, where you could still make the playoffs at the very worst. Obviously, they made the Super Bowl in 85, but it wasn't so bad. They knew they had the talent. Here, you have a collection of talent that where each individual, Khalil Mack is great. I think David Montgomery is a very good back. Mm-hmm. You have an Allen Robinson who has shown I can do some things. You have a collection of talent that's actually pretty decent. But do they fit together?
No, that's a great way to put it. And I was seeing the same things. I mean, you can take the talent, and we've seen this talent from previous Bears teams actually flourish in other situations. I mean, last year, we were blaming Leonard Floyd for his lack of production. He's tearing it up in LA right now. Allen Robinson is a Pro Bowl wide receiver, but you don't see it consistently on this Bears team. Like you said, Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, Roquan Smith, who was having a great year and had a very bad game. The pieces are there. It's just not meshing. And that goes back to coaching. That goes back to developing. these coaches just aren't able to put these players in situations to be effective and really to move the ball on offense. And now apparently stop the other team from running down their throat or passing and, creating those opportunities where guys are put in mismatched situations. I think that's a great way to put it.
Well, you mistakenly, but you mentioned Mitch, the switch to Mitch. Obviously, that did not work. And maybe there's a series of questions, and it's one right after the other. So, is Mitch Trubisky even on the roster in 2021?
No.
Is Matt Nagy a head coach, at least in Chicago in 2021?
No.
Ryan Pace, is he the GM in Chicago in 2021?
Now, this is the one that I struggle with because reports are out there saying that Ryan Pace has endeared himself to the McCaskey family. They see him as somebody who they can still build around, who should potentially get another shot. If I'm Ryan Pace, I might try and save face by firing Matt Nagy before the end of the season is over. I don't think it's going to happen, but if you're asking me whether Ryan Pace should be the GM of the Bears, I think no. He's had way too many misses in the draft, in free agency. Yes, the defense, for the most part of his tenure, at least the last few years, has been very good, but it's an offensive-driven league. He got the quarterback wrong. He failed to upgrade the offensive line. He paid average to below average players much bigger money, and they're now on the books. So many mistakes have been made. So I think he should be fired, but there just seems like something tells me that because of his relationship and everything with the McCaskey family, he may actually get another shot.
Well, I'm not sure there's any other questions really to ask after yesterday's just dismal performance against the Packers. So, Brendan, we thank you for coming on Midway Minute, and we thank you for watching. So remember to hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube, and then head to the website midwayminute.win and sign up for the newsletter. We will see you all this weekend. If we don't piss ourselves off enough.